second day in the metro, and welcome to another boxed ERTL collection update. As you may remember, back in March I did a video of an update of the engines I brought. However, I've got some new ones now, as you can see here. So I brought these ones here in March this year, after I made the last video. And first off, we'll start with Ben and Diesel. Ben and Diesel I bought in, say, March this year. I got them off of the flea market in Wellingborough. If you're ever in Wellingborough in Northamptonshire, or nearby, there's a flea market every Tuesday, and it's always a good place to find the boxed ERTL engines, or well, any sort of collectible item that you like. And I got Ben and Diesel from the same store holder that I bought the Fat Controller and his Porter from. However, I didn't buy them all at the same time. I got Ben and Diesel both on the same day, and they were £7.50 originally, but I managed to get a deal and get them for £11 altogether. So that's not a bad going, considering I paid £5 each for some of my other ones. So we'll take a look at Ben first of all. Obviously, as you probably saw from the other photos, I do have Bill as well, but in different packaging. So it's a shame they're not both in the same packaging. But it's not the end of the world. And it says here 1990, so it would have been made around then. To my knowledge, I think Ben was actually released in 1991, or Diesel was, one of them was. But, you know, they could have been made in 1990 the year before, so they're ready for production the following year. And I think, and like I said, this is obviously one of the older ones in my collection because of the style of packaging, the 1990s. I was born in 1993. And then if we have a look at Diesel. So again, the old style packaging. And again, it says this was made in 1990. Making it about 25 years old this year. So them two are the oldest ones in the collection. The next four I've got here are the Crane, the Silly Trucks, BoCo, and Neil. There's not really a lot to say about these really. With the Silly Trucks though, however, if you look, from around 2000, I think 2002, they gave them these what they call the U-hook things. And as you can see, they're on the back of them here, which would be the right way round. However, and these were made in 2004, by the way. If you look on the back of the box, so these were made in 2004. I also have these trucks, as you can see here, unboxed, and I actually got these in 2004 from a model shop in Cheddar Gorge. And I'm not 100% sure if that model shop's open anymore. Back in March 2012, unfortunately, people broke into the shop, which meant possibly the owner would have to close because of the insurance, one thing or another, wouldn't be able to afford to have any stock in the shop. You can read more about that article online, so I'm sure it's the same at model shop. It was called Cheddar Models, but I've not heard any more about it since. I don't know if it's open anymore. And even if it was open, I don't know if they'd have any models anymore. But there's still the odd model shop that does them. I mean, Caroline the car, one of the ones that I've got boxed, as you can see here, I got her from a model shop in around 2008, which was about 4 years after the ERTL range had been discontinued. And I've got a few other ones from model shops in one place and another since then. So if you look carefully and look around, you can still find them in model shops. Obviously not as common as they used to be, but you can still find them. And these ones were both made in 2001, and they were released in 2002. As you can see here, though, if you look carefully on this truck here, you can see the coupling there is cracked. It is, of course, unfortunately very fragile. So unfortunately, I got damaged. So obviously these ones were unboxed, but these were made for playing with. For me, because obviously now, I have, as you know, I've got lots of them unboxed, for my ERTL collection videos you probably saw in the past. But these ones, as I said, were for playing worth playing with. But nowadays, as I say, I'm just collecting any boxed ones that I see and keeping them boxed. And all these and all the other ones that I've got boxed are going to stay boxed. Going back to the back of the box again, if you look at the description card that you cut off, it says here, the story, which is on a windy, stormy night, James is pulling the silly trucks along. They reach the Fogman's old station house and become scared and frightened, but good old James looks after them. Now, I don't actually remember this story or episode at all. If anyone does, it'd be nice if you commented below and let me know. But so I don't know anything about this story, and it sounds sort of similar to Haunted Henry. Obviously, and these vans look very similar to one of the vans that Henry was pulling in Haunted Henry. But Henry didn't look after them at all. Obviously, he was scared himself, so he couldn't look after them. So again, I don't know what that story that is actually on the back, but if you do know, it'd be nice if you could comment below and say. So there's the crane, and that was made in 2002. There's Neil there, a Railway Series character. And this was made in 2003. And saying I quite like the animations they use. I do quite like this style of packaging. I think it was the only one that Neil actually came in. So he was released in 2002, and it was between 2002 2004 that this packaging was released. So I think Neil would have only been in this sort of packaging, and you wouldn't see him in any other style of packaging. And so he was a Railway Series character, not lots of like Isabel, who also got boxed. Quite a nice one. And then we've got BoCo, one of my favourite diesels here. Again, nice packaging, quite long, big box. Again, a nice description card, and again, it's really good. It's sort of a bit like the Railway Series. Talks about how he was on loan from British Rail, and then it talks about obviously his like debut episode as well. So it's quite good. And the four I've got here, the crane, the silly trucks, BoCo and Neil. These four I got all together for £20 and 90p. So again, when you consider that I've bought other ones for like £5 each, that's like £5 plus 90p, which isn't much really. And again, these ones, so £11 together, so an extra pound. So I've got them all for quite a good price and just paid £1.90 more, which I don't mind, to be honest. As you can see here, I've got a few more ones. I've got Henry. I brought Henry. He's actually got a paper face, you can probably just about see. Another thing you probably noticed in my ERTL video that I mentioned earlier is that I've actually got two Henrys. Both of them came with a plastic face. When I was younger, I've got an older brother, by the way. We actually had that Henry unboxed. We did with the paper face, but he lost all of his wheels and got practically destroyed, and hardly had any paint left in him by the end. So I think he must have got. I imagine he got thrown away. But like I said, I've got a paper one now, and that one's staying boxed. I also had Percy unboxed with paper face, but we ended up getting rid of that one because it got destroyed through play. But again, I've got Percy unboxed in good condition with plastic face. I've got Gordon here. Gordon's one of my favourite characters, and like Ben and Diesel, has the plastic face, and that was made in 1989. And if you look on the back of the Henry box, the Henry box was as well. And then, as you can see, I've got three along the bottom here: Fergus, Frank, and Laurie too. On the 22nd of August this year, it was my 22nd birthday. And Fergus and Frank and Laurie too were all a birthday present to me from various friends. So I never actually paid for these. So I don't know how much these three were. So we'll start off with Fergus. Fergus was probably one of my favourite characters that was introduced in Series 7. Again, I've got an unboxed one, but like I said, this one and all the others stay unboxed. And this was obviously made in 2004. I say obviously because 2004 was when they were discontinued and when Fergus was released, and a lot of you probably know. And the animation of Fergus looks very unusual for some, and I've got a Fergus fridge magnet as you can see here. And I can't understand why they didn't use that animation for the Fergus, but so I think that one's still quite good. And I think this is a really good model of Fergus. I think the buffer beam being black's a bit odd because it's black, but all the other colours are correct, and it's a really good detailed model. And Fergus is one of my favourites, so I'm really happy to have it. And like I say, it's got the new item sticker on it, which they had between 2003 2004. The next one I was given as a present was Frank. This one was made in 2003, as you can probably see on the back of the box. I said, but this one was it was released in 2002, but this one was made in 2003. And Frank, as you know, is a Railway Series character. He's not in the TV series, but with the return of, or say the introduction of Mike, Rex and Bert in the series, he could be introduced soon, we don't know. Unfortunately, there's a sticker there where someone, I don't know if it was the person that bought it for me or not, took the price tag off, so there's a bit of a mark there, but it's not the end of the world. And he comes with one of the leaflets that tells you about all the different characters you can buy, and I can just about see Salty on there. Fergus comes with one of the leaflets as well, and I can just about see Edward and Toby on there. And then lastly, I've got Laurie too. Obviously, there's 3 whole lorries altogether, and they're only in one episode, but they appeared in a number of other episodes as background characters without the faces throughout the model era. And although the lorries only appeared in one episode, and Fergus only appeared in 3 episodes in Series 7, they've still made numerous appearances in the magazine stories. And so it's quite nice to hear that they haven't been forgotten. In many of the magazines, particularly this one here that I've got, in the magazines there was a place called Dingley Hall. There is actually a real place called Dingley Hall in a place called Dingley, and funnily enough it's in Northamptonshire. I live in Northamptonshire, but I'm from Wellingborough. But like I said, there is a place called Dingley Hall in Northamptonshire in a place called Dingley, which is quite a coincidence, as it's also been in the magazines, as you can see in this story here. A friend of mine on Twitter also said that there's a place near him called Elsbridge, and as you know from series 1 to 4 there was a station called Elsbridge in the series.